Water pollution.
Water pollution. Water pollution can be defined in many ways. Usually, it means one or more substances have built up in water to such an extent that they can cause problems for animals or people.
Surface waters. Huge oceans, lakes, and rivers. Example, a spill from an oil tanker creates an oil slick that can affect a vast area of the ocean. Groundwater. Water stored underground in aquifers. Point source pollution. Pollution comes from a single location, such as a discharge pipe attached to a factory. Non-point source pollution. A great deal of water pollution happens not from one single source but from many different scattered sources. Transboundary pollution. Pollution that enters the environment in one place has an effect hundreds or even thousands of miles away.
How do we know when water is polluted? There are two main ways of measuring the quality of water. First is the chemical indicators.
If the chemicals are dangerous or the concentrations are too great, we can regard the water as polluted. Measurements like these are known as chemical indicators of water quality.
Next is the biological indicators.
If many different types of creatures can live in a river, the quality is likely to be very good. If the river supports no fish life at all, the quality is obviously much poorer. Measurements like these are called biological indicators.
Causes of water pollution. Sewage. Disposing of sewage waste is a major problem.
663 million people, 9% of the world's population, don't have access to safe drinking water. 2.4 billion, or 40% of the world's population, don't have proper sanitation, hygienic toilet facilities. Water-related illnesses, such as diarrhea that kills 525,000 children under 5 each year. Back in 2002, the World Health Organization estimated that water-related diseases could kill as much as 135 million people by 2020.
Nutrients. Sewage is often released in much greater quantities than the natural environment can cope with.
Sewage and fertilizer can cause a massive increase in the growth of algae, or the plankton that overwhelms huge areas of oceans, lakes, or rivers, known as the harmful algal bloom.
Wastewater. Few statistics illustrate that the scale of the problem that wastewater, chemical wash down drains, and discharge from factories can cause.
Each year, the world generates perhaps 5 to 10 billion tons of industrial waste, much of which is pumped untreated into rivers, oceans, and other waterways. In the United States alone, around 400,000 factories take clean water from rivers, and many pump polluted waters back in their place. Factories are sources of water pollution, but quite a lot of water is polluted by the ordinary people from non-point sources.
Chemical waste. At the opposite end of the spectrum are highly toxic chemicals such as PCBs.
Although PCBs are widely banned, their effects will be felt for many decades because they last a long time in the environment without breaking down. Another kind of toxic pollution comes from heavy metals.
Radioactive waste. At high enough concentration, it can kill. In lower concentration, it can cause cancer and other illnesses. Oil pollution. Considering oil by itself, tanker spills are not as significant as they might seem. Only 12% of the oil that enters the ocean comes from the tanker accidents. Over 70% of the oil pollution at sea comes from non-routine shipping.
The biggest oil spill in recent years, and the biggest ever spill in U.S. waters, occurred when the tanker Exxon Valdez broke up in Prince William Sound in Alaska in 1989. Around 12 million gallons, or 44 million liters, of oil were released into the pristine wilderness, enough to fill your living room 800 times over.
Plastics. Plastic is light and floats easily, so it can travel enormous distances across the oceans. Most plastics are not biodegradable. They do not break down naturally in the environment, which means that things like plastic bottles top can survive in the marine environment for a long time.
Plastic fishing lines and other debris can strangle or choke fish. This is sometimes called ghost fishing. About half of the world's seabird species are known to have eaten plastic residue in their stomachs.
Common examples of alien species include zebra mussels in the Great Lakes of the USA, which were carried there from Europe by ballast water or wastewater flushed from ships. The Mediterranean Sea has been invaded by a kind of alien algae called Caulerpa taxifolia. In the Black Sea, an alien jellyfish called Namiopsis lady reduced fish stocks by 90% after arriving in ballast water. Another type of pollution involves the disruption of sediments or fine-grained powders that flow from rivers into the sea. Dams built from hydroelectric power or water reservoir can reduce the sediment flow. During construction work, soil, rock, and other fine powders sometimes enters nearby rivers in large quantities, causing it to become turbid.
Effects of water pollution. The oil can wash up on nearby beaches, devastate the ecosystem, and severely affect tourism.
Arguably, everyone who puts gasoline into their car or uses almost any kind of petroleum fueled transport contributes to the problem in some way. People who bathe or surf in the water can fall ill if they swallow polluted water, yet sewage can have other harmful effects too. It can poison shellfish, such as cockles and mussels, that grow near the shore.
Can we stop water pollution? The first step for that is through education. We should educate people to be aware of this kind of problem, and one of the solutions for this is to be aware of ourselves. We should realize that in every action that we do, there's always a consequences, and that consequences may greatly affect the majority.
People who've grown tired of walking the world's polluted beaches often band together to organize community beach cleaning sessions. Anglers who no longer catch so many fish have campaigned for tougher penalties against factories that pour pollution into our rivers. Greater public awareness can make a positive difference.
We should spread that awareness to everybody so that people may see the side that they are experiencing, so that we can see their experiences.
In terms of laws, environmental laws can make it tougher for people to pollute. But to be really effective, they have to operate across national and international borders.
This is why we have international laws governing the oceans, such as the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, signed by over 120 nations, the 1972 London Dumping Convention, the 1978 MARPOL International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, and the 1998 OSPAR Convention for the Protection of the Marine Environment of the Northeast Atlantic.
And in terms of economics, most environmental experts agree that the best way to tackle pollution is through something called the polluter pays principle.
Ultimately, the polluter pays principle.
Our clean future. We can take individual action to help reduce water pollution.
And we can take action as countries and continents to pass laws that will make pollution harder and the world less polluted. Working together, we can make pollution less of a problem and the world a better place.